Hey, what's going on? Today is August 4th. This is 2019. I have put some videos up here on YouTube in the hopes that I'd have my book finished by now. And I was just fucking around with it and learning how to use it. You know, I'm not really computer savvy. And I was just learning how to use it. Set this phone down here. I was just learning how to use the dang YouTube. I'm still working on my book, and from time to time, my plans were to put some videos so that people could get an understand along the lines that I think, and my way of thinking, and my personality. And I guess they could read between the lines and figure out, you know, whatever it is they need to figure out about me, whether I'm full of shit, whether I'm legit about what I'm saying or whatever that is. I'm driving my rig right now. I'm out here in New Mexico on my way to Las Vegas. I do a lot of Las Vegas runs. I live in Wichita, Kansas, and I usually pick up loads out of Wichita that either go to Las Vegas or they go to Riverside, which is a suburb of LA, or I may have some to go to LA. And I take my circle around, and I may go from Wichita up to Riverside, and then I may go over to Vegas and come back to Pueblo, Colorado, or Denver, and then grab a beer load out of Fort Collins, Colorado, and go home. I may go to LA and pick a load out of Van Nuys, which is another suburb of LA, and go north all the way to Hayden, Idaho, which is up there by Canada. I may go to San Francisco from LA, and back around to Lewiston, Idaho, and come back around through Billings, Montana, and down through Cheyenne to Fort Collins. I mean, you know, I run anywhere from 3 to 3,800 miles, probably a week. Sometimes maybe 2,500 miles a week. I'm home about 6-7 days a month at the most. The rest of the time I'm out here across the country chasing my money. Okay, so that's just kind of my process. For some of you that don't know who I am, you know, I spent a lot of time locked up. The numbers on my arms from when I was in Texas. I grew up in the Valley of Texas, Brownsville, Laredo, you know, the Rio Grande Valley. I grew up in placements, foster homes, Esperanza Home for Boys in Brownsville back in the 80s, 84, 85. Found myself in the Texas juvenile system. And then I did a little stint in the penitentiary right after juvenile, and came to Kansas with a fucked up ass attitude. I probably weighed 120 pounds, and I was quick to pull a pistol on somebody. You know, I got in trouble for robbing somebody, and I had morals. It wasn't something I just did because I was like, fuck everybody, and I'd kill the first motherfucker I seen. I used to pray to God I would never have to do that, and I've been blessed. But you know what that saying is? They say the Lord helps those who help themselves. And I had to figure out what the fuck I was going to do. I had no education, no family, no nothing. You know, I came to Kansas because I found my brother was in a foster home. My stupid ass talked him into hanging around with me. He's my younger brother, and got him out of the foster home when he turned 18. That was the worst thing I did. I should have left him there. I wasn't prepared to look after him and me both. You know, I misguided him. That was my fault. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing by bringing him around some real family. Well, that wasn't what happened. You know, I've had to fight my way, you know, around. And the first part of my life, I was raised around, obviously, a lot of Mexicans. You know, down there in the Rio Grande Valley. I'm not gonna lie, you get your ass whipped for being white. I hate to say that. You know, some people may not like the way it came out of my mouth, but it's true. You get picked on all the time for being white down there. I Maybe it was because I was in the juvenile facility with a bunch of thugs. I mean, that could be. I'm sure if I'm around some uppity motherfuckers, maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. I got further north in some placements like in Dallas and Houston, and I was around a lot of blacks. There wasn't a lot of whites in the system in the 80s when I was there. And some people may be looking at this video that was there and know that what I'm saying is true. There wasn't a lot of whites in the facility. I was the minority. I say that to say this. I run into a lot of racist people across the United States, really. And you wouldn't believe some of the reasons I hear. If there was a reason for somebody to be racist, I think that would be me. I could probably have some type of floor to stand on. But I don't. I got, kids I've raised that are black. My wife is black. I got a lot of friends that are Mexican and black. When I go to prison, the time is hard. There's certain rules and politics of where I'm supposed to be when I go. And I don't care how bad you think you are. You go to a level 3 or a level 4 yard, and you lock down like that, there's fucking politics on that motherfucker that you have to follow. I don't give a fuck if you King Kong. Now, if you happen to come in there and you are OG with OG status and you can control your side of the yard, well, you can probably do what you want to do. But to a certain extent, because that motherfucking leadership changes all the fucking time. And it doesn't change by my people or somebody else's people. A lot of times the change is done with your own people. They don't like the way you lead them. So I don't want to get all into that, but I can tell you that life has been very long and very rough. Besides some things that happened to me with my dad that cost him, almost 20 years in the penitentiary. 20, 25 years in the penitentiary, I believe. The point of the fucking matter being is that I had to fight through all that. I had to stay away from drugs, and because that was going to allow me to be weak. And I'm already weak enough. I'm a 120-pound white boy living in, Laredo, Texas, Brownsville, Harlingen, McAllen, Weslaco, and placements down there, halfway houses, the Valley House, the Beetle House, the Oasis House in Corpus Christi, Mary's House in San Antonio. I mean, I could go on and on and on the places I've been across Texas. Corsicana, Brownwood, Gainesville, Giddings, Crockett, West Texas, a lot of facilities. And I can tell you that when I came here, to Kansas that is, my attitude was really fucked up. I was institutionalized. I couldn't keep a job, couldn't do none of that shit. So I'm giving you this little background, and I'll do it from time to time for new watchers. And the reason I give you this is because I don't want you to think anything that I'm saying is, how would I know? I had somebody tell me that one time, Cadillac, you don't know nothing about the struggle. You being white and everything, no disrespect. I live in the fucking hood. My friends live in the hood. My wife's family does. My wife used to. My ex-wife used to. I mean, this is obviously a motherfucker that don't know who I am. To say that to me. And I'm not, it doesn't take Stevie Wonder to see what the fuck is going on. And it doesn't take even somebody necessarily to live in the hood to know what's going on. To a certain extent. Maybe not as well as you do. But while you sitting there bitching and complaining to me and telling me what I don't know, what the fuck are you gonna do? That's the question. Don't waste your time talking to me about how ignorant I am to the situation. What are you gonna do about it? Sitting around drinking and smoking weed every motherfucking day ain't the answer. That's for goddamn sure. You gotta find some way. And I don't give a fuck if you drink, smoke weed every day. I wish I could sometimes. But let me tell you something. I wish I could smoke weed now. Shit, I'm in a position in my life where I can do it. But I made sure I handled my business first. This truck is my truck. ECP Transportation, that's my business. So at the end of the day, I went from robbing, literally robbing, not burglary, robbing motherfuckers, to burglary, to any hustle and con I could think of. I've talked to a few people that were, one of them was like a millionaire, and the other one, well, he wasn't a millionaire, but he was rich out of a lot of money. And today, I feel guilty for that from time to time. It crosses my mind. I was wrong, but I use my mouthpiece. Anything I can do to survive, to scratch and survive, that's what I did. And I stayed away from a lot of motherfuckers because I know the more that people know about you and your business, the more they end up doing something to you. I come from, some rough neighborhoods and time and people that if you say something disrespectful, you better be ready to tee off and go off on them. And I don't mean talking. I mean, you better be ready, because them motherfuckers will open your fucking skull right on up. They'll open your shit up to the white meat and leave you standing there. And maybe you might not even make it. Because I done been jumped by motherfuckers and have been pistol whipped, and the pistol went off in the middle of hitting me in the head with it. I done been shot at, and a few other fucking things. So I know how small conversations can take off in an instant. And the motherfucker won't even give you a warning. They'll be talking and arguing with you, and the next thing you know, they're in your motherfucking mouth like a dentist with their motherfucking fist. So, you don't even know it's coming, and they stomping you and beating your ass. And you trying to decide whether or not I put up a fight and take a chance on getting shot, because we motherfuckers, maybe a couple of them are using pistols to beat you with. Okay? I'm not even going to talk yet about what happens in the motherfucking penitentiary and what happens in the juvenile system. I'm not going to talk about that just yet. I have been blessed beyond what I can say. For you that don't know, for the most part, I believe in Christ. There are questions I have, but not enough questions that'll make me not give him his dues. There are questions I have and things that don't add up right in the Bible, but I got to remember that man wrote the Bible and tried to decipher what God was saying. Okay, and so I have to, take it for what it is and try to, piece my own mind of what I believe to be right. Because when you go to see God, you go in that hole by yourself. People ain't lining up at the funeral to jump in that motherfucking casket. Hey, wait, don't close it yet. Let me get in there. No, ain't nobody thinking like that. So you're going to go by yourself. So the motherfucker that's telling you how to believe and what to believe and what to do, you make sure you believe in that, because you're going to be the only one answering for it when you go see the Lord. So, and there's a lot of things I got to answer for. So I'm still finishing my book. And then I'm going to write another one about some of the things that I see today going on in this fucking world that I do not agree with. And a lot of it has to do with some of this police shit that I've been seeing that everybody else is finally seeing only because phones have cameras. And some of this shit is to some of my own friends and people I know that do ignorant shit, even though they know them people are going to do what they going to do. Well, you just going to chime right in with them and do the same dumb shit and set yourself up for failure. There's some people I just don't have respect for, because they lean on other people that really do have it bad. They really do have the man on their back. And here's a motherfucker coming along that ain't even from the hood, that's not even from the ghetto, that's not even from nothing, trying to fight his way in because he thinks it's popular because he's watching Lil Wayne and them. Okay? Well, that's where they come. Well, I'm going to come. Motherfucker, you don't even live over here. You live over there. By the way, I live over there now. I don't live there anymore. But that was the point that I'm making. We were always trying to get out. Always. And the reality of it is we couldn't. Now, what are we gonna do now? You know, at the end of the day, we're gonna do what the fuck we gotta do to make it. But for some motherfucker to come in and act like he done came through those struggles and played a role based on the color of his skin and ain't never suffered nothing, I don't have no respect for that. And then for a motherfucker to sit next to me talking about he can't pay the rent but want to know if I can run into the weed house or to the liquor store, I don't understand that either. And so therefore, you know, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, I have respect for people that have really been through this shit. And so I'm going to write a book about my view of that issue. My first book is, I guess, really just my biography to give some history of who I am and where I come from. And then I'll let everybody else decide whether or not they think that I'm worth it. Now, I know I'm going to have some people on there talking crazy. You know, I'm 46 years old, you know, and I used to argue with every motherfucker that didn't agree with me. I don't do that anymore. Those comments, I just act like I don't see them, or I'll delete them probably, or whatever. I don't know. I don't think I want to delete them because I don't want it to be like I'm hiding what everybody else thinks. So, let me say, for the record, that I don't want to ever seem that I'm coming off with somebody who ain't never had his ass whooped, ain't never had his head opened up. I got scars on my head, that I ain't never, had to back down from a situation that I knew I was right about. But for the most part of my life, I've always tried to be a righteous person. In other words, whatever it is that I'm talking about, or I get mad about, or I'm fighting about, I try to make sure that I am right. I mean, I analyze the shit out of myself. I have a slight bit of bipolar issue, and I have a slight bit of, intermittent explosive disorder. Certain people get me painted in a certain corner. I'm glad I could go off and do something I don't really mean to do, you know. Later on, I can promise you that I sit and chastise myself for it. But for the most part, when I see confrontation, I just try to stay away from it now. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter if I punk you and put you in your motherfucking spot or not and pull your whole card, because at the end of the day, I'm going to pay a consequence for that. And is that consequence going to be worth you? You know, no disrespect, but is it going to be worth it? Are you worth it? I can't see how unless I'm fucking you or you one of my kids. I can't see how unless you paying my goddamn bills, and then I really shouldn't be checking you in the first place. So, therefore, I don't see how it is that you're worth it. Now, in the penitentiary, there's a different set of rules and politics. Once I say you got to put your life on the line over the dumbest shit, over a spread, over some cookies, over some goddamn, anything, cigarettes, whatever, dope, whatever it is, you got to put your life on the line, because if not, everybody's watching. And they always say the streets is watching. The streets ain't got shit on the penitentiary, because every one of them motherfuckers is in there for some of the same shit you do. Every one of them. You don't have to wonder when you get there, because they there for doing something. And if they've already showed their paperwork on the yard and showed their driver's license, and some of y'all know what I mean, they done wrote up to the person who got the keys of the yard or whatever, and showed them the paperwork, and the paperwork say they did what they said they did, or they validated. And they ain't no child molester, they ain't no motherfucking punk. For the most part, prison will let you know if you are. And shit, you gotta do what you gotta do. And so, that's some other stuff I'm gonna talk on a little later as well. But for the most part, I'm a truck driver now. I used to put gold teeth in guys' mouths. I used to make jewelry. If you look up Earl Cadillac Hunter on Google, you'll see a newspaper article out in California written about me. And I live out in Kansas. And the article was written all the way over there to LA. There's some in Wichita, Kansas. There's a couple magazine articles I got. I did that for a way to get out of where I was. That was my way to get out of poverty. And then when I was smart enough, I got my CDL. When I was on my feet with the teeth, I got my CDL. And when that shit started dying down, I jumped in this truck. Now, I've been driving this truck since 2007, 2008. I've been driving trucks. And doing teeth a little bit at the same time. I don't really do them anymore. You know, now I'm on to my next hustle. A long time ago, somebody told me you should write you a book. I thought that was the most funniest shit. I ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna sit down. Who's gonna read a book about me? I ain't nobody, and I'm still not. But I've seen a bunch of books about a bunch of other nobodies, and you know they did pretty good. And well, also back in the time, I wouldn't have told nobody the story about me because it's a sign of weakness. But I'm grown now, and I know a little differently than I knew then. So the time's come. And if that puts me on my feet and puts me in a position to give somebody else some knowledge or some hope at the same time, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not doing it for free. I'm not going to lie to you and say that. But it is a smile on my face that puts a smile on my face to let me know I may help somebody and make a little money doing it at the same time. I mean, that's like a perfect deal right there for me. So some of the stuff I'm gonna tell is fucked up and puts me in a bad light. But man, at the same time, it lets everybody know that I'm being real about what I'm saying. You know, advice that I give, 98% of it is only because I fucked up and did the same thing you were doing or worse. Most of the stuff I'm gonna talk bad about people, the things that people do, is shit that I've done, more than likely, somewhere. You know, so I want to make that known too. Anyway, well, I'm not gonna have this video. It's already done went a little too long. Like I say, you know, from time to time, I'm gonna rant and rave about a topic that I believe in. Because it's my beliefs and my opinion. Okay. All right.